If you hopped into Wave 1 or 2 of the 4.1.1 PTU, you may have spotted it, the Idris-M. As I showed in some of my previous videos as well, it was fully flyable, boardable, even stealable through the new Elite Operatives mission. But as of today, with Wave 4, it's gone. The Elite Operatives mission remains, but the Idris has been swapped out for a Polaris as of the moment. So what's really going on here? To provide some additional detail, the Idris was never made available to players within their hangars. Players who have spent $1,300 to have access to this ship were not granted access, but it was fully operational in-game via mission content, letting players temporarily take control of the aUEC signature frigate, railgun and all. And while the switch to the Polaris might look like simple balancing of the mission, the bigger picture suggests something else. This might be the clearest signal yet that the Idris is nearly ready for public release. Here's some further context to the situation. For over 10 years, CIG has stated there's been several blockers preventing the ship's release. Server-side object container streaming, the Idris missile room, server meshing, terminals, seats, and play interaction setups, and ship balance. Well, as of this current PTU, we have all of those. And the ship finds balance to the fact that there's another capital ship to contest with it, and that's the Polaris. On top of this, CIG multiple times stated Squadron 42 spoilers and wanting to tie the ship to that game's release were also major reasons for holding it back. But given that they've put the full Idris model in-game multiple times, including Xenothreat 2.0, the Capture the Idris event, the yearly Invictus Idris ship tour, Miles Eckhart missions, and now the PTU Elite Ops missions, that excuse is basically toast. As the result of these events, players have had countless times to go over the entirety of the ship. But what about holding it back for Squadron 42's release? Even if Squadron 42 isn't out yet, that line's lost most of its weight, the precedent's been set, CIG has in the past had no issue letting us taste the future before the story launches, and that's made even more true given the F8C was supposed to be locked to completing Squadron 42 in some capacity. But there are tangible clues in 4.1.1 that the Idris is coming soon. The first thing that was found was a player-ownable skin. The K-Kit upgrade for the Idris that includes the Hurston Exodus laser is in-game. The point defense turrets of the ship have been fully implemented as well, and the medical beds within the ship also allow for player respawns. On top of these details, the ship is now loaded with engineering fuses, full signage, and most importantly of all, CIG went in and actually adjusted the claim timers for claiming the ship at an ASOP terminal. And as I mentioned earlier, with the K-Kit being in the game, players also found the Idris P variant as well as the M variant. And the missile room that had been missing from the ship for some time is now fully completed. So the vast majority of things that seemingly were holding it back are now gone. So what does it all mean? Server tech is in, the Polaris is flying, most of the Idris' systems are complete and operational. This is no longer just some vague dream of a ship. It looks like a slow, deliberate rollout. And with the Invictus Launch Week event kicking off on May 15th, timing couldn't be better. Dropping the Idris during IAE would split buyer focus with the planned release of the Pioneer, as well as the rumored and likely release of the RSI Perseus that is currently in white box. But Invictus, that's the perfect stage for releasing a large ship like the Idris. And here's the thing, right now the situation just feels illogical. We've had mission access, players can fly the Idris, either through mission objectives or by glitching their way in, and honestly, the longer CIG withholds it, the more it encourages players to find every way to break the game to access the ship. Ironically enough, the current Elite Op mission is one of the cleaner implementations, the least likely so far to break the game in any meaningful way, though whether that holds true under full server loads remains yet to be seen. The bottom line here is, it's time. Release the Idris to backers. It would fulfill a promise made over a decade ago, and maybe more importantly stop incentivizing players to constantly exploit game mechanics just to fly a ship they already paid for potentially a decade ago and should rightfully have access to given it appears practically complete. So at the end of the day, maybe this was just a tease, but maybe it was also a signal. But the groundwork is done, the content was live, and all the reasons given for not releasing it have practically been burned down to embers. And hopefully they don't hide it away until the release of Squadron 42 whenever that happens. Either way, if you enjoyed this content, drop a like, hit subscribe, and let me know in the comments, is the Idris finally coming? Or are we just getting teased with the carrot on a stick once more? Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.